Tonight on NAIT NewsWatch.
A looming speed limit increase is drawing scrutiny from Edmontonians.
What you're seeing is a lack of any enforcement in any road right now.
And female high school students get to take a look into the ever-evolving world of trades.
We know that over the last 5 years, we've had about a 70% increase.
Plus, decreasing holiday budgets are threatening smaller and local businesses this holiday season.
I think if we're comparing this year to last year in the amounts of people showing up and the amount that they're spending, there's already been a noticeable dip.
NewsWatch starts now.
Good evening and welcome to NAIT NewsWatch. The need for speed across the province sees many in favor of increasing the speed limits on some Alberta highways.
But with insurance rates already at higher costs, that leads potential for an increase in traffic collisions.
Our Eric Calhoun has more on the impact of speed limit increases and how that could affect vehicle insurance companies.
That's right, guys. Alberta is currently weighing the potential increase of speed limits on select highways. However, there is growing concern within the city with a sharp rise of traffic-related deaths, whether that could come at a deadly cost.
Alberta could see many highways, including the QE2, rise to 120 kilometers an hour with the launch of a survey asking the public their thoughts.
Why not raise the speed limit? I think the highways are good enough and straight enough that it's not an issue.
So I do agree with it going up maybe 10, 15.
There's plenty of people that are capable of driving at 120 kilometers an hour, and I think it shouldn't be against the law. So, yeah.
Recent studies suggest many vehicles already travel above the 110 kilometer mark. Many are in favor of the increase, believing this helps traffic flow and reduce enforcement.
I think it's all risk. I think the problem is Alberta highways, we have extreme weather here, and people don't realize that speed limit is for best possible conditions. So as soon as it starts to snow, you're supposed to slow down, but people don't, and they think that they're allowed to do 125 kilometers an hour on icy roads. And I don't see any positive in increasing the speed limit.
Speed continues to be a significant factor of traffic collisions, with fatal collisions up by 8%, collisions resulting in serious injury up by 6%, and unsafe speeds citing in about 13 to 14% of fatal crashes, and closer to 20 to 25% of crashes on rural highways.
When I was young, with my family, even when I had children, the volume of traffic was not the same as it is now, because we just didn't have the same population. So now you're increasing speed limits with increased traffic, I think, is a recipe for disaster.
There may be pros to faster roads, but the cons come in with regards to the impact on insurance. Statistics show in other provinces even a 10-kilometer increase can raise injury claim severity by 5 to 20% over time.
In a statement from AMA's Dominic Chamun, removal of automated enforcement is the only thing that has meaningfully changed, and we have seen an increase in aggressive and risky driving behavior.
Alberta insurers suggest a key contributor in the increase of insurance premiums is that the higher rate of speed, the more likelihood of fatal injuries resulting in higher severities.
Thanks, Eric. Have other provinces raised speed limits on highways?
Yes, Gordon. British Columbia raised their speed limits to 120 kilometers back in 2014. However, the 3 years after, the province decided to revert back to the original speed limits due to the higher collision rates in 2018.
Eric, how long does the province survey remain open?
Yes, Bree. The survey closes December 12th, which will see Alberta run a pilot project on tracking traffic flow, enforcement levels, and also higher collision rates.
Thanks, Eric. That's our Eric Calhoun live from the hallways of NAIT.
You're watching NAIT NewsWatch, the next generation of news.
National Day of Persons with Disabilities is on December 3rd, and one comic book writer from NAIT wants to remind people that everyone is super. Jola Ilamore is a NAIT student, but behind the scenes he's been working on a super project. His comic project Delta is all about neurodivergent people and turning their disabilities into superpowers. All characters are based on someone he's met in his life with neurodivergent problems.
What happens is they bottle their emotions up. They hide who they are just to fit into the mold that the world sets up for them. I want to change that.
If ADHD telepathy, weaponized hyperactive disorder, or the mysterious Dr. Null interest you, look out for the Project Delta by Yola Ilamori in the future, and remember that everyone can be super.
Female high school students in Alberta grabbed their safety glasses and participated in various hands-on workshops for the 4th annual Jill of All Trades event at NAIT. The Jill of All Trades event provided girls with an opportunity to get hands-on experience and learn about the various types of trades. The event featured interactive workshops about plumbing, welding, auto body, carpentry, electrical, and power line technician programs.
It's an event where we bring young women from grades 9 to 12 into NAIT to try some hands-on experiences with a variety of trades so that they can see if it is a career that they would be interested in doing in the future.
The Jill of All Trades event takes place every year on NAIT's campus. For more information, visit nait.ca.
It looks like Edmonton is going to have a monetarily tight Christmas this year, and it's affecting local stores. A study from Money Mart and Angus Reid found 83% of Albertans say that inflation will impact their holiday spending this year, and 61% say they expect to cut back on gifts from last year. For many, it's time for secondhand gifts. This has had a big impact on local businesses.
We'll get the same crowds and people looking at stuff, but the amount making it to till and making it to sales is like about a third of what it was last year.
Another study by the Salvation Army reports that 73% of Albertans are struggling with managing their limited resources, such as food and clothing. 86% of Albertans state that the cost of living and inflation are their main worries, which is why the holidays are so pinched this year.
Edmonton's giving spirit is in full swing with the police and the food bank's annual Stuff a Bus event that is taking place until November 30th at various Save On Foods locations across the city. Stuff a Bus kicked off on Wednesday with Crown Cruiser at Save On Foods. Edmonton residents donated various items to fill up the police cruiser. The campaign collects non-perishable food and donations for Edmonton's food bank to help Edmontonians in need this holiday season.
Stuff a Cruiser is our annual food bank drive that we do in partnership with Edmonton Transit's Stuff a Bus. We're at 3 different Save On Foods locations today, Thursday, and Friday at the end of November. Just trying to fill the whole thing with food donations to help Edmonton's food bank.
Tomorrow, ETS buses will be at 16 different Save On Foods locations collecting donations for Stuff a Bus.
Coming up after the break, our Gage Russell tells us about our dropping temperatures and if we'll be expecting any snowfall.
That's right, and we'll take a look at the high school football provincials.
I'm Quinn Olson. Coming up in sports, we take a look at the NAIT Youth curling team as their season begins. And a high school football team is heading to the provincial final.
Hi, I'm Gage Russell. Coming up on weather, we're going to need to bundle up because it's going to be really cold this weekend. How cold? Well, let's find out after the break.
Well, unfortunately, it looks like the warm days have come to an end. I don't know about you, but I've been having to brush snow off of my car these past few days.
Oh man, winter has finally woken up and our weather is starting to reflect that.
Our Gage Russell has more on this weekend's forecast.
Thanks, guys. Well, folks, looks like it's finally time to put away those hoodies because it's jacket season. We're finally dropping below 0 this weekend, and that's where we'll be staying. It's going to be especially cold this weekend, but let's find out just how cold it'll be. Starting out in Calgary, we're going to be looking at a high of -9 and a low of -17. It's going to be partly cloudy, so if you're heading down to Calgary at all, I definitely recommend you put on some mittens. All right, we're going to be heading over to Jasper next. We're going to be looking at a high of -4 and a low of -14. Definitely not as cold, so I wouldn't recommend bundling up as much, but a scarf is recommended. Next, we'll be heading to Fort McMurray. We're looking at a high of -11 and a low of -16. Definitely probably going to be one of the coldest places to be, so snow pants are a must. And finally, we'll be heading back up to Edmonton. we're going to be looking at a high of -9 and a low of -14. Still cold, probably a toque would be my recommendation for this kind of weather. All right, now we'll be looking at our averages. Our averages are going to be a high of -3 and a low of -11. So we're definitely below our averages, which is kind of unfortunate, but it is winter. It is a Canadian winter, so we kind of got to deal with that. So now let's look at our records. In 1956, we were at a high of +13. It's at times like this where I wish I was a time traveler. But back in 1896, it reminds me of why I'm glad time travel is science fiction, because it was a low of -36. Oh, that's chilly. If you haven't dug out your winter gear yet, I suggest you start. While snow might not be falling this weekend, it is more likely to start next week. So I suggest you get those shovels ready and keep your cars plugged in.
NewsWatch Weather is brought to you by NR92, the station for the students.
It is time for the holidays, and you know what that means, Gordon?
Time to worry about how much I spend because it's getting expensive.
We are asking you for our last question of the week. What is your spending limit this year?
Head over to @NAITNugget on Instagram for a chance to win a prize.
It's really been getting frosty outside these past few days. I've been freezing every time I go outside.
Me too, Bree. I can't imagine staying out there for any long period of time without bundling up.
Agreed, but it looks like plenty of sports teams are braving the cold as they continue to practice through the chilly weather. Our Quinn Olson has more on that in sports.
Thanks, guys. With the weather finally getting colder, some seasons are coming to an end, yet others are just beginning, with the NAIT Ooks curling team hurrying hard to get back rocking and rolling on the ice. They had an impressive start at the Curling Fall Regional last weekend, with the all-returning men's team making a clean sweep, going 5-0 to take first place. The mixed team also did well, going 3-1, taking second, while the all-new women's team had a tough time, going 0-6 to end the weekend. Despite the team having 6 new players, they are already sliding well into the season.
We have a lot of fun out there. I would say that's probably our biggest strength, is that we don't beat ourselves up. So if we're having a rough game, it's okay. Not everybody is going to play 100% all of the time, but we're going to be able to lift each other up and keep going for the next one.
The team is working hard, honing in their skills as Christmas break approaches. Once back in school, they have 2 more tournaments before the season ends. They will be competing from January 16th to 18th and January 30th to February 1st. The high school football season is running longer this year due to the teachers' strike. With the 4A Alberta Football Provincial Final being held this weekend, Austin O'Brien senior team is busy perfecting their game. This will be their 3rd provincial final in the last 4 years. Having won the provincial title 4 times in their program's history, Austin O'Brien is no stranger to the pressure of a championship game. Even with having a smaller roster than most teams in the league and many injuries this season, the team is confident in their abilities and in each other.
We led the league in passing yards, so that's kind of our strength on offense, and then we had 3 defensive players be in the top 10 for tackles, so I think, again, it's just kind of like that mindset and that identity of the team that we stick to, and it's kind of like a live by it and die by it. You're not going to switch it up this time around just because it's a different team or a strong opponent.
The 4A Provincial Final will be held this Saturday in the Jasper Place Bowl at 2:30. Other high school divisions, including the 5A, 3A, 9A side, and 6A side, will also have their championship games at the Jasper Place Bowl this weekend. I don't know about the 2 of you, but I'm excited to see how our curling team does this year.
I honestly didn't know we had one, but I'll be really excited to check it out.
And I'm excited to see how the provincials turn out for those high school students. Thanks, Quinn. Of course. Coming up, we take a look at this year's Macy's Christmas House Light display.
And our Carter Bell will be showing us some combat archery.
My name's Cody Dunfield, and in this week's entertainment, Edmonton's holiday season is shining bright with must-see Christmas light displays. From community tradition at Macy's House to the excitement at Rad Torque Raceway, and Landmark Cinemas is showing something new. All that more in entertainment.
You're watching NAIT NewsWatch, the next generation of news.
It is getting close to the end of the semester, and Gordon, the stress is getting to everyone.
Well, our Carter Bell might have found a new way to get some stress relief with a bow and arrow.
Tell me more.
Oh, Carter will.
Hello, I'm Carl Bell, and we're going to do a new form of laser tag today on Try This. Instead with invisible lasers, with a foam arrow.
This is just practice.
It's also enough of explaining some bow safety and how this is different from normal archery. Things like dry fire where you pull on the arrow and don't shoot it. And after practicing some shots at some targets, we are ready for an actual game. The rules were simple. At the beginning of the game, you put down your bow and you run towards arrows. Once you do that, you shoot at each other. If you get hit, you put up your bow, you walk to the other side, and you play for the other side.
Walk your shame, Carter.
Until one side has all the players.
I really enjoyed the physicality of this and the fact that you're able to actually kind of feel the hits and you got to feel shooting the arrows. It made it feel like you're a lot more incorporated overall.
And there was a few different strategies we all end up trying to do, whether it's using the high ground or running around trying to get those arrows as fast as we can. I will be honest with you, I was probably not the best shot, but I had a lot of fun. I tried a multitude of strategies, and no matter what, I got hit in every situation. All right, that was a lot of fun. I'm very winded, not in my peak physical condition, but this was a lot of fun. A few small bruises here and there. I am Carter Bell with NAIT NewsWatch, and you should try this.
A local racetrack is proudly hosting a Christmas light show this season.
That's right, Gordon. And just a few minutes from NAIT, Maisie's Magical Christmas House is bringing magic and light to the neighborhood. Our Coda Dunfield has more in entertainment.
Thanks, guys. And keeping up with the Christmas spirit this November, Rad Torque Raceway is holding its annual Magic of Lights event, running now through January 6th, proudly sponsored by Canadian Tire. With Western Canada's largest light tunnel stretching an impressive 425 feet, Rad Torque Raceway has swapped its wheels for Christmas lights this season. After more than 6 weeks of hard work setting up the display, business has never been better.
We have people coming here every year. They get pictures taken in front of the same, end of the route display where it says MOL for Magical Lights and then the year. And then they kind of compare every single year how their kids have grown up, how they've added the family pet.
A portion of proceeds from each vehicle supports 880 Ched Santa's Anonymous and Canadian Tire Jumpstart, helping to spread joy and make a difference in the community. Looking for an amazing light show to kick off the holiday season? Maisie's Magical Christmas House is officially open, spreading seasonal happiness with festive lights and special holiday guests. Featuring over $150,000 worth of dazzling Christmas lights, Maisie's has been lighting up the neighborhood for more than 20 years, spreading the holiday cheer to anyone lucky enough to pass by.
We're passing the street and we see the house with the bigger lights, so that's why we stop to watch what is happening here, and then we see this new attractive for the visitors, so that's why we stop here to watch this beautiful.
From 5 to 9 p.m. on Thursdays and Sundays and 5 to 10 p.m. on Fridays and Saturdays, Maisie's welcomes the public to come enjoy the magic of the Christmas season. Every filmmaker dreams of having their work showcased on the big screen, and for two Edmonton creators that just became a reality, Brimstone Pictures is making its big screen debut with Contamination at Landmark Cinemas inside the city's Center Mall. Our Celestia Lembo has more.
A new feature film from Brimstone Pictures and Redwater Entertainment is turning heads in the independent film world. The story follows a covert Black Ops team sent deep into the wilderness to destroy a top-secret laboratory. But once inside, the mission takes a dangerous turn. Directed by filmmakers Neil Chase and David Heacock, the film brings a sharp, high-stakes edge to the sci-fi thriller genre, blending intense action with an eerie, isolated setting.
Preston, David, and myself, the three of us that run Brimstone Pictures, we're all big fans of 80s movies. We grew up with films like Predator, The Thing, Aliens, Lethal Weapon, Beverly Hills Cop, movies that are big, they're fun, they're action-oriented.
This past weekend, Brimstone Pictures hosted a special movie premiere for Contamination at Landmark Cinemas inside the City Center Mall. Edmontonians were invited to step into Theater 9 and experience something new and local.
Well, we want them to have fun, primarily. We're a company that wants to bring back that feeling of you go to the movie, you bring a friend, you bring your date, you enjoy your popcorn, and you just go for the ride.
During the Contamination press tour of Alberta, multiple premiere showings at Landmark Cinemas in Edmonton and Calgary in November 2025 were sold out. 80% of all available tickets for the initial run were sold. And the film was the best-selling action movie in Edmonton during its opening weekend, beating out larger budget films like Now You See Me 3 and The Running Man. With Edmonton being the last stop on the Contamination press tour, fans can expect some more explosive and fast-paced action as the cast and crew head to Ontario. On January 9th, 10th, and 11th, you can meet the cast of Contamination as they head to Toronto, Kingston, and Ottawa. Reporting from Landmark Cinemas here in the Edmonton City Centre, Celestia Lenvo, NAIT NewsWatch.
I don't know about you guys, but I definitely might have to go check out that Contamination movie this weekend.
Looks like a really good watch. I always love movies like that.
I don't know. The fights are on this weekend, and I usually spend my Saturdays watching UFC. Thanks, Coda. Those Christmas events look like a ton of fun.
You're right, Bree. I might have to swing by and check out those lights. That's the end of our last regular show of the semester.
Thanks for watching us throughout the semester, and make sure to tune into our 2 extra shows in the following weeks.
Make sure you all bundle up and have a safe, warm weekend.